Hello. Yeah, if I have stuck with my guns, I didn't have any channel intro, video intro. It's just kind of just jumps right into it. Trying to see if this is something that I can get into. I've always wanted to kind of do let's plays or like be bigger on YouTube or whatever. So I figured I'd branch out now as a very spry, nearing middle-aged man. So, uh, yeah, I thought I'd start with this game, The Roottrees Are Dead. Heard about it recently in an issue of Game Informer. It was somebody's, I think, like their game of the year, and just kind of going off the info, like it's very, I don't know if diegetic's the word I want, but you're kind of going through uh, like this built-in internet and going through newspapers and magazines and stuff to kind of piece together this mystery. And I thought that sounded really fucking cool. And uh, been watching Spider Noir, so I wanted to see how I'd do as a detective, I guess. So, full disclosure, I did start this game already earlier this week. I got maybe I don't know. Whenever you see it, it'll make more sense. But I got a little bit in it. I wouldn't say it was too far, but for the purpose of this, I'm going to just start fresh. My memory is god awful, so odds are that I'm not gonna remember much of this anyway. So yeah, my old file, or the one that I had started with, had 15 characters locked in, which we'll find out exactly what that means together again, because my first time through I did not pay attention and thought locked in also meant that I was correct
The
in
plane that crashed
what I
last
believed.
night
So,
just
all right,
outside
yeah,
of
we'll let this
Pittsburgh is
do
now
its thing.
known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottree and his daughters, the Rootree sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Rootrees are dead.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news.
So I
In
don't know.
addition
I
to
have to
being
imagine if
killed,
this is like
the
your
Roottree
first
company's
time,
lawyers are scrambling.
like this is your first time seeing this game, uh, you would have watched a video where someone wasn't talking over it with commentary if you're after that kind of thing. So I've seen where some people like read it as if you are like a kindergartner or something, and they're kind of reading it off to you. I'm just kind of hoping that uh, that I don't know that you were able to read that. I'd rather not read it out loud right now. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Now I see why they do it, because it kind of fills in that dead air where it's like, do I just talk over it and then you can't really hear it? Um, yeah, I don't know.
Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for.
I figure the character's saying it. If I don't talk over it, then you're hearing it. So yeah.
I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
Huh.
I'm going to give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
Okay. So I already did this. In fact, yeah, the other day whenever I was doing this and figuring out how this game worked, I was like, man, this is really freaking cool. Yeah, I guess I'm probably gonna. I've got two kiddos, so um, I guess the hope I've got for this is to kind of work through this whole game just in these sessions, like 30-minute to hour-long sessions. How I don't know. We'll see how many I get to upload, and if it'll take me a fucking year to complete this game, or if I'll do it in a good amount of time. But yeah. So let's just get right into it and see what's up. So, okay, complete the family tree. Examine the evidence. Whenever I was playing before, I went back and forth like 800 times, but I kept screwing up what you're supposed to do. So, The person who hired you gave you this photo with a note attached. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees Sisters Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches, on which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a root tree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." Awesome. Okay. And if I remember right, you clicked... Yeah. So, with this game, we saw kind of the board there, clicking kind of their faces to get a snapshot. When you go back to this board, you'll see these giant... areas where you're going to be putting pictures of these family members as you're going through, kind of deducing who goes where. Yeah, so search the internet for clues. We have got, what else do we have? We've got this list of names. So this was provided to you by the mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. So yeah, it just gives you a bunch of names. You'll see like there's people on here that aren't root trees. That's because like these will be spouses or children with a, like, maybe where the wife didn't take the husband's last name. So, which is, I mean, here in America anyway, that's the common thing. I assume pretty sure based on what I know the world over, that's the common thing is the woman takes the man's last name. No disrespect if you didn't. That's cool. But there'll be some instances where, you know, you've got the man who is, oh goodness, like this Sam Cattrall, right? Let's say that's not a kid. That is a man that married one of the, like, I don't know, this Lauren Rootree. Let's say they married, and then they have a son or daughter who has a non-Rootree last name. That's why you'll have kind of those names in there. You're just kind of going through, kind of checking some people off, trying to find blood relatives. So I don't think this list is super helpful at this exact moment. See, like, now that I'm talking through it, I really don't remember who goes where and what. I kind of remember the twist with this part, which we'll get to, but okay, so search the internet for clues. What I'm gonna do... Oh goodness, yeah. God, it's been a long time since I had to do the old dial-up thing. We got DSL pretty early on whenever I was a kid, like probably 3rd grade or something, but God, I remember dial-up before that, and it was fucking terrible. Consider yourself lucky if you have only known fiber or DSL or something like that. Okay, so evidence. Yeah, it doesn't give us names right now, so I think what we're gonna do, we're just gonna search Rootree. Mentioned Carl Rootree, who was the president of the Rootree Candy Company. His daughters are also eulogized. Okay. So, I skipped this part. First few pages are filled with news results about the plane crash, which is like the inciting incident of this whole game. Besides that, there are countless advertisements and conversations about the various products made by the Rootree Candy Company. Most articles mention Carl Rootree, who was the president of the Rootree Candy Company. His daughters are also eulogized, collectively referred to as the Rootree sisters. They've been famous from an early age. I don't remember if it actually has told me yet, but you can highlight different things as you come across it, like here, or eventually we'll get like the ability to like search in a library or like newspapers, stuff like that. You can highlight anything and add it to this notebook here, or you can just kind of instantly search it. I'm gonna go ahead. My first playthrough, I was really bad about taking notes, so I got really lost early on. So we're just gonna kind of jump into taking notes. I still don't really know the best way to do it, but it's telling me basically like this is what I highlighted, and this is where I was whenever I highlighted it. So I had search Rootree in the search bar, and that's where we're at. So let's do something like Father Carl Rootree, president. Oh my God, president of RCC. That's something else you're gonna see. I'm awful at typing. Very loud keyboard because it makes me feel superior, and I can't type worth a damn. So we are going to search the Roottrees sisters. There are a lot of obituaries that focus on the Roottrees sisters' modeling careers. So they are models, okay? You also, which I guess we knew that from the ad, I guess. It kind of reminds me of the Olsen twins, Mary Kate and Ashley. You also come across an unofficial Roottree fan site. I don't know why it's in quotes. Seemingly curated by a teenager. It's neon pink with purple text and hard to read until you highlight the words. The young webmaster writes, Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest. Okay, hold up. Oldest. And if I remember right, at the beginning it said the tree goes left to right, oldest to youngest. So oldest is Raina. Raina is the most famous because she's the oldest and got married to TMS. Okay. Spouse is TMS. I would assume those are initials and not somebody's name. Okay, but Riley is the smart one. Rose is a middle child like me. Okay, so middle is Rose. Youngest is Riley. Okay. You might think they are rich. You might think they're rich just because they're models, but their dad. Oh yeah, also wants their occupation. Which this one's easy because all three of them are the same thing, but eventually it'll get kind of weird. Raina's the most famous because okay, I already read that. You might think they were rich just because they're models, but their dad is also president of the candy company, and their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand Root. Now, this is kind of where I got screwed up my first time playing. Like, I had this note, right? The Roottree sisters, but then I've got stuff in there like their dad, and I'm going to have, like, who their mom is. So, yeah, it just gets a little muddy, and sorting it out is half the battle. Brenda, we would assume Roottree. Oh, yeah, you know what? I forgot. Okay, we're going to put that for now. The spouses, anytime you put someone in, not even just the spouses, anyone, you're going to put them with, like, their birth name. So it can be their last name. Like, if they're married now, it wants, like, if it's a woman, they want their maiden name. Something like that. So, yeah, something to keep in mind. She is a fashion designer. Okay. They do the modeling for her brand Root. Fashion designer. I'm just gonna put Root. Okay. Alright. I eat Roottree candy all the time. My favorite are maple crisps, and I try to dress in plaid Root clothes like Riley does in most of the posters. Some days I want to get my ears pierced like Rose. Oh yeah. And they're gonna have pictures that we're gonna have to line up. So you'll want to take note anytime somebody like mentions what somebody looks like. So Rose, ears pierced. It's kind of weird if she's the only one that has ears pierced. You'd think all three of them, or at least two of them would, but whatever. Riley does, and most of them. Okay, Riley wears plaid. Okay. Root. Oh, okay. We've got okay. Website's author continues to talk about her own life and what she likes about the Root fashion lines, but no is relevant. Okay, so I'm thinking for right now, that's it. That we'll do there. So let me go. Let's just. I'm gonna rename this to like. I don't know. I'll just name it that too. Okay. And then I should know anything related directly to them will be in here. So, okay, the oldest we know is Raina. Raina, Roottree, cool. Middle is Rose. Youngest is Riley. Rose. Whoops. Nobody lists that name. If someone isn't in the list of names that your employer provided, doing a deeper dive on what you learn about them will often lead to additional discoveries. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I vaguely recall. Okay, vaguely recall how that one goes. That's kind of the bad thing about me having already played a little bit. Like, I knew there was kind of a twist in this one, but I couldn't remember who it exactly applied to and what it was. But as we get to it, I'll point it out. Obviously, we know something's going on with Rose's name. She's not appearing on our list, so there's something going on with her. Riley is the youngest. Okay. Oh my god, I forgot how it's spelled. Okay, Riley Roottrees. They're all models. Model. Okay. And then we had Riley wears plaid. Oh, okay, right there. Yeah, there's the plaid. You know what? I mean, I'm gonna look at the bigger picture. Surely she's the only one. Yeah, only one that's in plaid. Okay. Just want to make sure it wasn't some fuckery where somebody else had more plaid or something that it becomes a question. Because you can lock things in, like I said, you can lock things in, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you are correct. Okay, so that's Riley. All right. Riley wears plaid. Rose has her ears pierced. Okay. Rose, ears pierced. And damn, those are some hoops. Okay. So then that leaves her. She's the only one not marked. Okay, there we go. And then we know somebody was named TMS. So let's go back to that list. Like I said, we assume it is initials. That's the other thing. The game, I think, will tell us, like, these spouses, they're not blood relatives, so, like, you don't have to necessarily get them correct or lock them in per se, but whenever you use a name there, it takes it off the list of like available names, so it kind of keeps it from getting attached to somebody else. So let's look at the list of names, and we're looking at for men. We're gonna assume. I don't know if it said she's married to a man, but I gotta assume for now. I don't know why. We're just gonna assume. TMS. Let's go down to Thomas Sheridan. Okay. TMS. That's the only. It's the only TS I think we're gonna have. TM. Or okay. I mean, let's look in here. Nicole Smith. Yeah. So that's the only S. So I'm just gonna assume. I guess there's that Eloise, but that's not a T. Okay. So we're gonna say the spouse is Thomas Sheridan. Okay, so now we got to figure out what the hell is going on with Rose's name. If I recall, where is it? No, it's in the search. So yeah, Brenda is a fashion designer. They do the modeling for her brand Root. So basically, okay, let's look up Brenda Roottrees. You stumble across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottrees, started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. Pretty sure that's a reference to that stupid viral dress from a few years ago. So, okay, Brenda White. That will be good to know. Brenda Roottrees. Whoops. Brenda. Okay, so basically the only thing left then to really search, we've already searched Carl. Let's search Root. Root is a pretty common word, although searches are not case sensitive. If you're searching for something specific, you should keep an eye on how it's spelled and punctuated during your research. For example, the clothing company Root always has a period after it, even if it's not at the end of a sentence. Additionally, if you're searching for a name, most of the time you'll need the full name, but sometimes if someone goes by nickname, searching for their nicknames is the only way to find results. So it looks like definitely they knew that people were going to be doing that, so they put this little thing here to kind of tell you what to do. Okay, so Root, period is part of the name, is a clothing company. They make clothes for children from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic, you find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You've spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina." Okay. You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984. Kind of reminds me of JCPenney. And Raina appeared on almost all of them. There is only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottrees, the Roottrees sisters' mother and Root's head designer, appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottrees. Okay, so yeah, there's the little twist where you go looking for Rose and it's like, well, she's not on the list. Where the hell is she? You go down this rabbit hole and then you find She's originally named Carly. I call this a rabbit hole. This was like 2 searches. It gets much worse. So we're gonna go back here. Name is Carly. Root tree. We're gonna lock it in. All right. So let's see. 0 out of 50 blood relatives. These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Okay, for some reason I didn't think it tells you that you're correct. And then Thomas Sheridan was right. Or wait, no. You've also locked the following option entry. Okay, well, interesting. It doesn't tell me it's correct, but...
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired.
Hell yeah.
The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The root
Always a
trees
catch.
go way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man
It is
who
quite
started it
extensive.
was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood.
Okay, so yeah, this is where it's telling you, like, that it doesn't really give a shit about spouses and stuff. It's just after blood relatives.
Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries.
And it does.
Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable root trees.
Okay.
Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree. I'm off for now. Carl Roottrees had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives.
Okay, so... might cut it off. Oh, hold up.
Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Cool. I actually have no idea if the audio is going to be too quiet. Like, after this, I'm recording on OBS, and it's like the first time I've done this, so I don't know. The game audio might be shit, but whatever. First video, it's always growing pains and all that. Okay. For the person who hired you returns, every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct. Name, occupation, portrait, they will be locked in. All non-blood relatives and small portraits are optional, but placing them in the tree helps remove extra names and photos. Now, wait a minute. Every time you get 3 additional blood relatives in the family tree completely correct, they will be locked in. I am so lost because I thought the game... the accessibility? No. Gameplay. Displays the number of evidence that indicates if there are more leads to track down. Disabling this increases the difficulty of the game. I mean, it's for... Enable search all for... No, okay, I don't want that. Okay, well, interesting. I thought for some reason that it doesn't... Like, kind of the challenge was you don't know if you're right or not. And then it won't lock in, or it will lock in regardless. So, whatever. Anyway, we know kind of from searching. We've got Brenda White here. This is Carl. Okay, unknown occupation. He is the president. Oh, okay. We got a bunch of presidents. Well then, okay, let's come here. So here's our notable root trees. We've got this ad here. 5 pieces ad. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. So there's 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. Maybe that's why kids still love them. That's too much. Too many words going on there. So strawberry, power plum, awesome apple, bad blue, red. Okay, bad blue raspberry, cool chocolate. That one threw me off because... Okay, anyway. Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s, I assume. What even is an elderberry anyway? Okay, so that's cool. We already knew about that one, yeah. Okay, wait, what is this? Okay. Story so far. Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees who said they would be the easiest family members to place. They said they would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. They said they would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. How the hell do they know how long it's going to take me? This could take me 3 days. Okay. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright. Let's start. Carl, we already looked him up though. That was the first thing we looked up. You can go to the history and it'll... No, it's not. You didn't look him up at all. I just looked up Roottrees. Okay. Whoops. I'm in the browser. Turn that off. Okay. Carl Roottrees. See what we can learn about him. Carl Roottrees died in the recent plane crash along with his wife Brenda and their daughters. He was the president of the Roottrees Candy Company, as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. There is a short press release that the Roottrees Candy Company released today to news organizations, December 6, 1998. It's with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottrees sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottrees family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Hold up. I don't know, I want to give that its own. Okay. Let's edit this. We'll add Watchman of the Year. Okay. I'm literally just going to search it right now from here, so it's not really a big deal. But so his great-grandfather, which would be... Whoops. Where is he at? So he's here. That's his parent, and then that's his wait, no, hold on. Yeah, that's okay. That's his parent, that's his grandparent, that's his great-grandparent. This is a basic family tree, and I'm already like not knowing the lineage here. So yeah, parent should be his dad, because you know, Roottrees, their dad, and then hell, I don't know, maybe it's not the dad. Fuck, we'll find out. Okay, anyway, getting ahead of myself. Let's search Watchman of the Year. New periodical added Business Watch. Okay. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They have been around for over 100 years in one form or another and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. Why can't it be a businesswoman? They call this, because it's Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchmen of the Year, Elias Roottrees and Carl Roottrees. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via spider search, though you may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Okay, so this should be his his great-grandfather. So let's edit this note. Great-grandfather Elias Roottrees, ? And then before I search Elias, I want to go to the periodical Business Watch magazine. So, okay. Interesting. Okay, I don't remember doing that. Let's type in Roottrees. Business Watch has played host to many Roottrees advertisements over the years for many other products, including 5 pieces. They flood the results. Okay. Carl Roottrees. Carl Roottrees was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his work with Root. The cover and a summary of the article has been added to your evidence. Cool. And let's look at Elias Roottrees. Elias Roottrees was awarded Watchman of the Year in 1936 for his accomplishment of rolling out 5 pieces to a global market. Notes from the article and a scan so many of the cover have been added to your evidence. Okay, cool. So, oh, shoot. So we've got a picture of Carl. Carl Rootree grabs life by the roots. Yeah, nice. It's actually, man, this game's so cool. Like, this is actually really cool. Okay, anyway. Watchman of the Year 87. Carl Rootree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. According to the cover, Business Watch is the magazine for and about corporate leaders and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Carl was chosen not for his work at Rootree Candy, but rather a clothing company, Root. There's a brief history. Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Wait, what? Before they married, Carl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with her other parents, including Carl's cousin, Jim Rootree, a notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. Word spread. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were being copied by other brands. Seeing the demand, Carl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Rootree at the time, spearheaded Root. Other blood relatives, I like how it's all caps, who have a say in the company's finances, refused to fund anything other than candy, so Carl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit, of course. Per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became their catalog's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were then recruited to show off their baby clothes. Carl was voted Watchman of the Year primarily for his personal gamble and the ensuing payoff. Funny thing, first time through, I did not find this. I did not search that periodical and get this cover, and read all that. So, we got some good info here. Where was it? So Carl has a cousin named Jim Rootree who is a singer and also has a daughter. So we're gonna go to our notes. God, this is where I just get locked up. I'm like, what? Where should I put it? I guess I'll put it here for now. I probably need to put like Carl's great grandfather, Elias Rootree. Okay, Carl's cousin. I mean, he's gonna have a bunch of cousins. Where Jim Rootree, singer, has a daughter around Raina's age. I don't know how much of this will be necessary and how much won't. I just know eventually I'm gonna have to include this cousin on the tree at some point. And then he's got a second cousin, Ernie Jr. Second cousin, Ernie Jr. And he, okay, president of RCC, which is the Roottrees Candy Company, 1982. Okay, so we'll go ahead and save that note, and then, cool. Okay, I've got that other cover, which I also did not have this one, of good old Elias. Elias Rootree was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognize the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. 1908, Elias forms the Rootree Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During this period, before 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. 1909, Elias has a daughter, the first of 5 children. 4 more follow, leading to... Okay, so this is a good place to... Let's go ahead and start keeping track of old Elias. So, so he was the founder. Elias Rootree, Rootree, founder of the Rootree Candy Company. Okay. Children. 1 daughter. The first. Okay, no, hold on. 5 children. Firstborn was daughter. Okay. Now, if I remember, yeah, okay. She was born in, firstborn was daughter in 1909. Whoops. Okay, Elias invents 5 pieces. Each of the 5 flavors is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavor per child. Okay. 5 pieces. Kind of reminds me of like 5 gum. Anyway, 5 pieces. Each flavor is a child's initials. Okay. 5 pieces are first sold in Pittsburgh. 5 pieces are rolled out. New recipe and flavors finalized. The candy begins nationwide distribution. Roottrees Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. With the help of his son, Elias Roottrees Jr.'s architecture firm, a new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. Production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. Okay, so one son is Elias Roottrees. Hold on. Okay, let me do this. Son Elias Roottrees Jr. and he is an architect. I assume, anyway. It says architecture firm. I don't know. Is it going to be like he's actually a CEO? Okay. Whatever, production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. There's also a what's next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that the Roottrees Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clancy Trust. Okay. So I want to make note of that real quick. Roottrees Candy Company and then the Clancy Trust. I like that. Okay, so let's back out for a second. Alright, so did we get other evidence or was that it? Okay. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces. And the ad mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. Okay. So alright, let's go back to the family tree for a second. Was that always there? What the fuck? I mean, what's... Okay, whatever. Elias Roottrees Jr. CM. I guess I'm gonna go with... I guess I'm gonna go with that. Fuck, I don't know. And then Gwyneth. Oh, okay. Well, we'll double back on that. We have a picture of him right there. Dapper looking man. And then Carl, we do have a picture of him. Okay, cool. And then what did I want to look up? What did we have? We have this thing called the Clancy Trust and Elias children. I forgot, I said that the candy was named after his kids, so 5 pieces ad, but this one is different from back then, it says. So let's do a search for 5 pieces. For marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Though they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colorful shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy, Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Fortunately, when you click to the website, it seems like all of their image links are broken. That is usually how it goes. Yeah, so that sounds like it is going to be a public library search. So let's copy that. By Charles Lee. I feel like that was a guy in American history, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Charles Lee. Printing vintage pieces. Cool. Published 1985, hardcover, history, advertising, nonfiction. This is part of the book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. Like how it pointed that out. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s added to evidence. Okay, cool. So we're good with that. You found this advertisement in the Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children, and the order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavor, miracle berry. Alright. So, grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract. Cool. Alright, so we know children. Let's do it like this. Children, 5 children. Firstborn was daughter. So we've got G, E, C, E, I guess. Or it'd probably be a middle name. Hell, I don't know. M. Oops, shoot. And then MB? Okay. Now, going off of this, I'm going to assume Elias Roottrees Jr. is the second born. Is it architect? God damn it. Architect. Jesus Christ, I cannot type. It is literally my job to type, and I can't type. Okay. Yeah, well, that's kind of redundant now. I'll just take... No, I'll leave it. I'll delete it later. Who knows? Okay. Elias Roottrees, blah, blah, blah. Firstborn was a daughter in 1909. So G is a girl. So G Roottrees. Because these should all be Roottrees. So... Okay. Let's go back to the family tree. Who is the second born? Right here. So this is Elias Jr. Elias Roottrees Jr. Yeah, okay. Don't know who he married, don't know any of that good stuff just yet. Let's see. Gwyneth. So she should be notable. So I wonder, I see a G there. I wonder if they had if their next daughter was Gwyneth or something, or their first daughter rather. So the star, if I recall, means they're easily searched. They are a notable, Jesus, I can never find the evidence. They're a notable Roottrees. So we've got, yeah, Gwyneth Roottrees. So let's search for that old bat and see what we can find. Gwyneth Roottrees. Find some information on a website for the first Anderson at Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. That photo is added to your evidence. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottrees was Gwyneth Anderson. Cool. We've got her name. Alright. Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias's idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still in stores to this day. Still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Okay, so as a housewife. Cool. So we're going to say Gwyneth Anderson was a housewife. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Gwyneth Anderson, right there. Housewife. And so we have a picture of her. Added to evidence. This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottrees. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottrees Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Roottrees list of your evidence that will be marked on the chart with a star. Okay, well, I already knew that. Alright, so cool. Let's add her picture. Can't log it in yet because we don't know. I mean, other people are called presidents, so let's just fucking go president. Once you verify this person, So I need 3 more correct blood relatives before they will lock in. Oh, okay. Okay. So they haven't locked in yet because it's... Okay, cool. Also, probably after this next lock-in is whenever I'll cut this video off just to see how that goes, and I'll pick up from there in the next one. But, yeah. So, if I remember right, they said Carl was also president. He's the current president, so I would assume... Like, they just died, so I'm going to assume he's the 5th president. So, what did we do? These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. Elias, Anders, or Gwyneth rather, Carl. Okay, then Brenda White is locked in. Cool. Okay, so yeah, that's basically the game. Going forward from there, you just kind of just connect pieces and you be a detective and all that. So, very fun game that I cannot wait to get back to. The next time I'm able to do this. Yeah, like I said at the top of the video, if I stuck to my guns rather, there won't be a closing, so I will just awkwardly kind of cut it off here. Not really sure what the channel name's gonna be. It's spinning off of another channel, so I'll probably just modify that slightly. But I'm interested to see what it ends up being. We'll find out together. All right. Till next time. All right. Take care.